The return of Sal Pal Fridays. Sal Pal is back. We got to bring it back for an Eagles-Giants game. That's the way it was meant to be. Sal, how are you?
Mike, I missed you. How you doing? I'm glad to be back on the show. What's going on?
Everything's great. 2-week hiatus, but you're back for Sal Pal Fridays and Eagles-Giants. The Eagles have a shot, Sal, to lay the knockout blow here. Do you see any of the mobsters down there getting ready for this, taking care of biz?
Oh, yeah. The children of a lesser god are going to be out in South Philly on Sunday. You know that. 1 o'clock game with the Giants coming into town.
Whew.
Place is going to be rocking and rolling, and people know the Giants are on the ropes. It's definitely season on the brink for Big Blue. And, the matchup here to watch in this game is very clear to me, is how are the Giants going to block the Eagles' front four? Because I think the Eagles proved over the last 2 games they blitzed Washington and got to Cousins. They didn't blitz Kansas City, and they got to Alex Smith. So the strength of this team is going to be, and is right now, the front four. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mike, and people are not talking about this, but I want to talk about this on your show for one quick second. I think the MVP of off-season acquisitions is Timmy Jernigan. They stole him from Baltimore. He is pushing Fletcher Cox to be better. He is active and energized, and he is ferocious and violent at the point of attack. I think Jernigan, run-stopping, rush up the middle, has been the team's MVP on defense. Brandon Graham's putting up great numbers. Fletcher Cox has benefited, but Jernigan's presence has helped both of them.
1.5 sacks for Jernigan, 9 as a team. Sal, you just mentioned it, the blitz, the defensive line. Is it as big as a mismatch as everybody's making it out to be? Sal, the point spread changed 3 points. That only happens when the QB gets hurt.
Yes, very significant. It was too low to begin with, and everybody obviously jumped on just giving 3.5 with the Birds, and that drove the number up. It's not – listen, NFC East games are always very competitive. They're always very close. The Giants have had problems with the Eagles. The Giants have problems right now. This will not be a blowout. This will not be a blowout. It's not going to be a 10-point game. I see the Giants in this game being very competitive for 2 reasons. The Eagles are soft in the secondary right now in terms of depth. Don't have it. They just don't have the depth. They're injured. They're hurting in the secondary. So that's number one.
Big problems there.
The Giants present problems there. No question about it. And Spagnuolo is going to get after Carson Wentz because the Eagles' running game right now is non-existent, non-factor, doesn't exist.
My number 1 on the highlight sheet here for you, Sal, is the run game issues overblown? Is this just Peterson being stubborn, or can they not run the ball?
Boy, Dalvin Cook or Kareem Hunt would look good in an Eagles uniform, wouldn't he?
Hey, now.
One of those 2 guys?
I'll tell you.
I've covered the Chiefs the last 2 weeks, and how Kareem Hunt managed to the 3rd round, I don't know.
That seems to be the league, though. These guys pop up in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. The Eagles just can't find them. They pop up with Wendell Smallwood. They haven't given him a shot, though, really.
No, Wendell Smallwood, they don't trust to pick up the blitz. LeGarrette Blount's only good in the A and B backs in short yardage.
Right.
Darren Sproles can cut a few things loose, but you start overloading him, it's a bad combination.
Sal, let me get your take on the left guard. I mean, they said they're not going to push the panic button, and they made a switch. Is this a panic? Did they have to make a switch? Is it warranted? Warmack's going to get in there. The guy, top 10 pick. He didn't play well in Tennessee, but, reunited with his college coach, switching from right guard to left guard. Panic move or the right move?
Had to make the move. The team had lost confidence in him. Players had lost confidence in him. The tape doesn't lie. He was routinely beat. But, there is a little bit of a caveat here. I mean, Kansas City's defense is probably the best in the league. So let's not paint a bad picture of this Eagles team, okay? Kansas City, best team in the league, defensively, in my view. They're at home. The Eagles were toe-to-toe with them until the 4th quarter, 13-13, with 2 defensive backs out.
Yeah.
And the offensive line playing like they never put on a uniform before. And Carson Wentz carrying the offense. It was Carson Wentz and the defensive line that kept the team in the game single-handedly. It was so funny. Mike, after the game, Rick Burkhalter, the former Eagles trainer, who's now with Andy Reid in Kansas City, went with Andy to Kansas City. We all know Rick is the chairman of all the NFL trainers. He comes out the field to say hi to the reporters, and I said to him, this is after the game, I said, how's Big Red doing? He goes, relieved. I said, relieved? He said, yeah, relieved. He said, we knew we were going to have a handful with this defensive line. We knew we were going to have a handful with Carson Wentz. We're relieved that we won the game.
Good stuff. Sal Pal Friday here, 97.3 ESPN. You expect the Giants to get Beckham more involved this week?
We'll see. That's a tough ankle injury to come back. He's in the final 2 weeks of recovery, but don't forget he played half the game. So, it'll be helpful that he's playing on grass as opposed to the turf. That will help him.
Not helpful that the Giants are playing against the Eagles staring at 0-3. The Eagles have had the Giants' number. Why do you think the last couple of years it seems that the Eagles and the Giants, that the Eagles have had their number? I know a lot of those games were late in the year that were really meaningless for Philadelphia, but it seems that they just had the matchup just hasn't been there for New York.
Yeah, but the Giants won 2 Super Bowls during that time frame, so
you had to throw that in there, huh?
It's important for people to remember that, yes, the Eagles may have had their number, but Eli Manning's won 2 Super Bowls. And by the way, Mike.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what is Ben McAdoo doing going after Eli Manning?
I was just following up with that. What's up with that? What you see from Eli Monday night? Is he slowing down, or is he just not to have the help? Is the line that bad?
Well, he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have a running game and offensive line, but it doesn't even matter. The old adage in leadership is what? You praise in public and you criticize in private. If you want to criticize anybody in public and show that you really, you're a tough guy at the podium, criticize your general manager for putting together that offensive line and not getting a running back.
Sal, that's a good point.
Eli Manning's got 2 Super Bowl rings, Mike.
Yeah. And you're right. A lot of people, I think a lot of the Giant fans are saying the same thing. Why didn't you look at the offensive line in the offseason? But that line's pretty bad, right? This isn't just people just saying it because everybody is. You've seen it. That line's not good, right?
Well, Eric Flowers is a real weak link. And it'll be interesting to see. There's an old adage with defensive coordinators, you don't blitz a bad offensive line. I'm wondering if they will blitz him in this game. I think that Schwartz is not going to give Eli any room to breathe.
Right. And how many times...
Especially if the Eagles' offense struggles early in the game. And I do think the Eagles' offense will struggle early in the game.
And we'll kind of get out on this note here, because how many times did you and I talk last year about Schwartz and he didn't want to blitz? And it seems that he trusts his secondary in the first week with Darby a little more. He sent them after him. But do you anticipate them doing that to Eli this week?
I do, because it'll be a defensive game. There won't be a lot of points scored in this football game, and I think he will go after Eli. I think he likes Mills and Douglas, and he's learning to like Patrick Robinson, and he's playing the safeties a little bit deeper, and as a result, he's trusting them a little bit more not to give up the big play, and they haven't.
All right, Eagles-Giants at home. You leaning Birds this week at home, putting the Giants in an 0-3 hole?
I got them 24-20.
24-20 on a Sal Pal Friday. Don't forget, pick the perfect score coming up at 5:30. You can win $300, but that's this week's edition of Sal Pal Fridays. He's in Philly for Eagles-Giants. Where else would you want to be?
Nowhere else, baby.